Welcome to Majesty's House of Music. Now this is a lesson on the song Tenda by DEBORAH LUKALU. So we are going to break it down part by part. So I'll just be playing along part after part, and then I'll break it down. So the song is on the key of D, but since we are doing this tutorial on the key of C, I have transposed it upwards for the purpose of oneness. So here is the song. So I'll just play the first part. So for that part, you are just, that's a drummer's work, okay? So the first part is simple. So it is okay, so okay, so the first chord is a 3, so something like this. So you have E on your left hand, and then on your right hand you have G, you have C, and you have E. Okay, so then the second chord is, so that's a 2 chord. So you have D on your left hand, then you have F, A, and D on your right hand. So then, so to this chord, which is a 4 chord, so you have F on your left hand, then you have A, C, and F on your right hand. Okay, then back to where you started, which is E on your left hand, then G, C, and E on your right hand. Okay, so you have something like, then you repeat the same thing. Okay, so then you repeat the first part, then you do something like, so that's D and E on both hands, so the 2 and the 3. So okay, then so on your right hand you have C, F, and A, then on your left hand you have G. Okay, so then you finish with that. So you have something like C on your left hand, then you have E, G, and C on your right hand. Okay, so this is how it goes, playing it slowly. So you have that, then okay, so that's the first part. So that's the whole of the first part. There is just a slight change they do. So it's the same thing. So it's the same thing. So that's the part I was talking about. You will hear something like, you'll hear something of that sort. Let's play along and then you so that part. So you'll have something like that. They are sort of using, they're not using straight chords because that progression is 4 6 2. So they are not just playing like this. Okay, so you will hear something like so you'll have something like that. So that chord, that movement, so you have your C, you have D, you have E, so C, D, E, then G, which makes you land on the chord. So then, so on your left hand you'll have something like F, G and A. Then on your right hand you will have C, you'll have C, E and A. So you'll have something like, then from there they are going to a 6, but now they are playing this 6 with a 5 chord on the right. Okay, so you could decide to use whichever inversion you want to use. So something like this. Okay, so you have A, you have A, maybe you have D and E on your left hand. So you have something like that. You have A, D and E, or you could decide to have A, C and E. Okay, or you could decide to have both of them. So A, C, D and E. So it just depends on what voicing you want to use. You could use whichever of those. Then on your right hand you just have a 5 chord. So you have G, B and D. So you have this 4, then you have this 6, or this, depending on what you want to do. Then from there we go to the 4. The 4, they are playing it with some sort of one chord or something. So let's just play that part and then you will. That part. So then, so that's a 4 to the 6, then to the 2. So you could have something of that sort. Okay, so simple. Just play D and F on your left hand. Okay, then on your right hand just play a C chord. So you have G, C and E, or C, E and G, whichever inversion. So you could even play this or this, whichever inversion you decide to use. So you you have a 4. So you have a 4. Then you have a 6. Then you have a 2. So you have something like okay. So that's just the complex part in the first part. The other one is simple. So so maybe you are playing like this. So then okay. Then after you finish that is when you will hear something like that's when you will hear that. Okay. Then you continue. Okay. So that's just the so maybe if you are playing alone and you wanted to include that guitar line, it's okay, it's allowed. So it's something like I once played it. I had to play it because there wasn't a guitarist at that point. So you could do something like that. You could do something like that. So you could have C and G. That's on your right hand. Then you invert them, so you have now G and C. Okay. Then you have F and D. Okay. So that's the first part. So then the second part. So you have something like you have A and F. Then you have the same things you had in the first part. So you have G and C, then F and D. So then you repeat the same thing. Then the okay. So you could decide to have something like that, but it's not a must. Okay. Then okay, so you could decide to have that guitar line if you don't have a guitar player, but it's not a must. For you as the keyboardist, your work is just to fill up, just play some chords. Those what are these voicings called? They sound like drop 2 voicings. So for that part you will have to require a drummer. Okay? If at all anyone will be doing that part. So then after that you have some kind of brass. So you have something like that. Okay, so you have something like that. So if you are maybe playing a brass voice, I'm assuming maybe you have some kind of brass voice, but again those are slight interludes, which okay, let me try this one. Okay, So something of that sort, let's say. So maybe you could have something of this sort. So see what is happening. You start from C, then you have A flat, then you have G, then you have G flat. Okay, so then you have something of that sort. Then you start again from C. Then here it depends. You could play F sharp, F, E, or maybe you could play G, F, E. So something like, okay, so something of that sort. That's what they are playing at that point. I'm trying to go back and see what. So something of this sort, you will hear something of that sort. Then so you'll have, okay, so then you have something of that sort. So the first ends on the F sharp, the second one ends on the F. Okay, so that's something like C, G, F sharp, F. Okay, then the last one is C, F sharp, F, E. Okay, and then they finish with D, E. So okay, then the song continues. Okay, so that's small part. So that's just a 4, 6, 5. So you will have something like, okay, let me remove this brass voice for the moment. So just use this drop 2 voicings. So you have F and A on your left hand, then you have C, F and A on your right hand. So okay, it's actually a drop 1 voicing. Then so you have A and C on your left hand, then you have E and C on your right hand. Then you have G and B on your left hand. Then you have D and B on your right hand. So okay, or maybe you could decide to fill it up, so just play the full chord. So you could decide to play the full chords if you wanted to fill it up. Then that part, yeah, so that part, Tenda. So it's just a 1, then to a 5, then to a 2, then to a 5. Okay, so So again, I'm using a lot of drop one voicing, so you don't worry about that. So you have C and E on your left hand, then you have G, C and E on your right hand. So then to the 5, you could play the same thing on both hands. So you have G, B and D on both hands. Okay, G, B and D. So then the same thing again. F, A and C on both hands. Then back to G, B, D. If you know, sometimes playing like that will sound monotonous, okay? But if you are alone, you could try to follow the melody. So okay, so you could do something like that on the first part. So you have, again, it's a drop one voicing. So you have C and then you have G and E, okay? Or you could even play the C, doesn't matter. Then so you have B on your left hand, then you have G and D. So G and D on your right hand. Then you have D on your left hand, then you have A and F on your right hand. So okay, then back to C on your left hand, G and E on your right hand. So then back to this, B on your left hand, then you have G and D on your right hand. So then to that 4, then you just play the 4. Okay, then so that part is just simple. So the fact that I'm playing a 4 chord, but the bass line is the 2. So that's, if you want to include the bass line, you just add this 2 note here so that you have something like that. But if you have a bass player, you don't have to play this note. So you just play. So you let him play the 2 notes. Okay. Then this next part. Okay, so before that part, so that part is so you start from the 2, then so first you start from the 6. So you have A and G on your left hand, then you have a C chord on your right hand. Okay, so you have C, E and G. Then you have 5. So you have E and G on your left hand, then you have B, D and G on your right hand. So then you have that. So you have D, F, A on your left hand, then you have C, F, A on your right hand. Then you have F, A and C on your left hand, then you have E, A and C on your right hand. So you have something like, so that you have G, A and B on your left hand, and then here you have just a 5 chord. So you have D, G and B. Okay, so you have, then okay, so that's just the small part. So let's take it back. And then now this part. So that part. So for you as the keyboard player, this is what you'll be playing. Okay, so the first one. So F A, then F, then C F A. Then you have E G, then you have C E G. So then you have D F, then you have A D F on your right hand. So then you have C and E, then you have G, C and E. Okay, so then you have that. So you have A and C, then you have F, A and C. Okay, so then you start here again. So you have C and E, then you have G, C and E. Then you have B, D, then you have G, B and D. So then you have that. Have AC, then you have E, AC. So then you have G and B, then you have D, G and B. Then you have F and A. Then you have C, F and A. Okay, so the second part, the first part, then okay, so then okay, then so that's what the keyboard player is playing, the whole of that part, almost the whole of it. Okay, so that's exactly what he's playing. That's what you had. Okay. Okay. So something like this. Then. Okay. Something of that sort. So for the whole of that part, it's just the same thing. So those breaks, just a 5 and a 4 chord. So the next part is where I get into the Seben. Okay, so this is quite simple. It's going to be simpler than the first parts because the progression remains the same. So the thing is, so you have something like this. So the progression is just 1, 2, then 5, 4. But now what you can do, as I've always told Seben students, what you do, you just create a melody, okay? So the first part where you don't have the guitar line, okay? There is that first part where you don't really have the guitar line. So this is how it's this is how it sounds like. So that's where you have the guitar line. Let's take it down. Okay. Okay. So that's just a progression. 1, 2, then 5, then 4. Okay. So if you want to play plain chords, 1, so you have C and E, then you have G, C and E, then you have 2. So you have D, F, then you have A, C, F, then you have 5. So that you have B, D on your left hand, then you have a 5 chord, so you have G, B, C, then 4. You have A, C, then you have C, A, C, F, A, C, I mean. Okay. So basically plain chords, 1, 2, 5, 4. But the best way would be to create a melody. So maybe you could play something like so you could play something like okay. So just some melody, okay? So you could start with this E and G, then you have C, E, G. Then you go back to your 1 chord, so you have C, E, then G, C, E. Then to this 4 chord again. So you have A, C, then you have F, A, C. So you could play something like okay, so something like, okay, back to your 1 chord, so that's C, E, then G, C, E. Then you have B and D, then you have a 5 chord on your right hand, so that's G, B, D. Then you just invert the 5 chord, so you have G, B, then you have D, G, B. Finish on the 4 chord, which is F, A, then you have C, F, A. So you see something like that. So okay. Then so you could be playing that instead of playing straight chords, okay? Create that melody, okay? So you could create that melody, okay? So before the guitar line comes in, you could now imitate the guitar line when it comes in. So something of that sort. The whole of this part. So the whole of that part, you could just play your own melody, okay? So okay, so even if you have a beat or something, maybe you could use that. I don't know, I have a small beat. Okay, so maybe you have a beat, so okay, so okay, so you see that kind of a beat. So you could use that kind of a beat. Then where you have the guitar line, if you have a guitarist, you just keep playing your own melody. Okay, if you don't have, that's when you will imitate you will transcribe the guitar line. Okay, you don't have to transcribe it if you have a guitar player, but if you don't have a guitar player, then that's when you'll be maybe required to transcribe. Okay, but it's not a must again. So the guitar line goes like this. Okay, so you have D, and then you have A, C, F, then to this one chord, so you have E and G, then you have C, E and G. So then back to where you came from, so D, F, then A, C, F. So one chord, so you have C and E, then you have G, C and E. So okay, so that part, so you have G, you have G, B and C, G, B and D on your right hand, or just G and D, and then you have B and D on your left hand. So then back to F, A, C, then you have F, A, C. So okay, then you repeat G to F to G, then you invert the G, so you have G and B, then you have D, G and B. So then you finish on the 4 inverted F. So you have F, A, then you have C, F, A. So then you repeat. Okay, so you could transcribe the guitar line if at all you don't have a guitarist. Okay, so even if you give it a beat, it's the same thing. Okay, so beat, same thing. Okay, then the rest part of the Seben, still the same thing. So you hear the guitar line. That part, that break is simple. It's just 4, 6, 5. Okay, so you start with this F, A on your left hand, then C, F, A on your right hand, then you have you have A and C on your left hand, then you have E, A, C on your right hand, then you have that 5 chord, so you have G, B, then you have D, G, B. Okay, so then That's the break. Then you continue. Then you could continue with your melody. Okay, so could continue with your melody. You don't have to transcribe the guitar line everywhere. Okay, so continue. Then that break they're inserting at certain points, just 1 and 6, okay? You will hear, so maybe you play, then okay, so then you continue. Okay, so that's just a certain break. It's just 1 and 6, and you do it on both hands. Then, so when you are playing your melody, assuming you are playing your melody, so you have something like, okay, then so that's just the break, that something of that sort. Then so that break, that interlude, you could play your same melody, so then so you could just follow them at that last part. So maintain your melody, then okay, so that part, so you have a 6 chord, so you have A C, then you have E A C, then to the 5 chord, so you have G B, then you have D G B, then you have F A, then you have C F A, then you have a 1 chord, so you have E G, then you have C E G. So then you go back to your melody. So, but not everywhere. You just play your melody. Okay, that part maybe you could follow them once. Okay, you don't have to follow them all the time. You just keep your melody. This is your melody. So that's your melody for the whole of the Seben part. So just keep your melody. You don't have to follow them. Okay, then you remember the break is 4. Then you continue with your Seben. Okay. Okay, so that break. Let's play that. Let's play that part with the breaks. Okay, that doesn't have the breaks. Slightly. Okay. So here is your melody. So that part is just okay. So you just play a one chord. You just maintain your melody. If you have a brass player, they are the ones who will play. Then you continue with your melody. Okay, something of that sort. So that's the whole song, okay? It's just the whole song. So at the Seben part, as I have said, you could play your own melody or you could transcribe the guitar line, or you could just use them both, okay? So you could just do, okay? So you have melody, then maybe the next line. See how you switch them? So that's what you do for the Seben part. You play the melody, then you could transcribe the guitar line. The break, as I said, is just 1 and 6. So that's the whole song. You will really have to do a lot of practice to get those small details, okay? Especially the melody and harmonizing it with your left hand. Yeah, so that's it for the lesson. I'll see you in the next one.